Alright, first video of 2025, and today I want to talk to you guys about what it's like being or even becoming a sneaker artist in the year 2025. And as always, this is also the time of the year when we reflect back on everything that's happened. So recently I've been thinking a lot about this video that has just gone mega viral in the custom shoe world, and it's from my buddy Nico, aka Neeks Custom Sneaks, and it's essentially a Christmas Day unboxing of a pair of shoes that he made. So the backstory here is that this little boy designed a pair of Jordan 1s with this really colorful ice cream theme. They have a Yankees logo. It looks like he did this sketch in colored pencil, and then it was sent to Nico for him to bring them to life, and he did a fantastic job on these. And then the parents sent him this unboxing reaction video, and the kid just goes absolutely crazy.
No way! Oh my god!
And what's so cool about this is that this video has just gone everywhere. I mean, it's been posted by the official MLB account, Bleacher Report, all of those big sneaker and sports pages. I mean, this video has gone so widespread that it's been sent to me by a bunch of people from high school and college that I haven't even talked to in years, but know I'm in this whole custom shoe world and asked if I've seen it yet. So this video has just hit such a mainstream audience, and Nico has grown over 50,000 followers on Instagram alone, and essentially his life has changed overnight. And what's so cool about that, as an artist, you're really always just one project away from your life changing, and you never know when your time's gonna be, but it's just a fantastic motivation to never giving up and always keep going and always continue to pursue what you love. And this video has just really got me thinking about the sneaker customizing space as a whole, and how I think right now is just one of the best times ever to enter it, because of the ease of access of information, because of how welcoming everybody is in this space, because of how many great resources there are out there, from YouTube tutorials to online guides, and just how easy it is to connect with different artists in this space, and how open and welcoming they all are to sharing the tricks of the trade. And it wasn't always like that. When I started out, you know, over 10 years ago, and I would have certain artists that I looked up to, certain customizers, I would try to see how they would respond to people online on places like Twitter, Facebook, the early days of Instagram. And when people would ask them questions, it was a lot more common for you to see responses like, well, you need to sort of figure things out with your own trial and error. I've already put in all the hours myself. Why should I give away all that information for free? And I think that that has just completely changed within this space. And I've heard it from so many people that are coming from other niches or other spaces, whether it be the tattoo world or the barber realm, that, you know, there might be more gatekeeping in all of these other places, but here in the sneaker customizing world, people are just so open to sharing all of that information. And it's so awesome to be a part of a space like this, something that still has so much more room to grow as well. I mean, sneakers and this entire space will just continue to get more mainstream. I mean, if you think about the evolution of sneaker conventions and how much they've grown over the last decade, it's just absolutely insane. When I first started doing conventions, they would sometimes be in these old, dusty, small high school gyms, and now they're just in these huge convention halls. And I used to do 3 or 4 conventions a year when I started out. They were just a great way for me to promote my business, and I haven't done one in probably 7 or 8 years at this point, and that's something that I really do want to get back to in 2025, because I know that I've always encouraged other people to do them. As an artist or as a sneaker customizer, so much of your time is spent just posting your work to online forums like Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, TikTok, whatever the case may be. And yeah, you can post these amazing photos or this highly produced video content, but there's nothing like letting people see your work in person. And I think that they can really appreciate it on a whole nother level when they can really see all of that attention to detail up close and personal. And that's something that I definitely want to do here in 2025. And something else that's incredibly important for me is to really try and get back into a groove here on YouTube. I mean, I think unfortunately over the last couple years, I've really gotten lost in the details. So if I look back at our YouTube journey, in which we've been posting YouTube videos here for approaching 7 years now, when we first started out, we were just trying to figure out what works. We weren't even that concerned about quality. I mean, there was nothing for us to compare it to. There wasn't as many people posting on YouTube at the time. So we were just trying to figure out what works for us. I mean, we had no idea how to edit videos. We had no idea what equipment was needed for videos. We just thought, let's show people what we're doing here at DCF, and maybe they'll want to follow along. And so for the first year on YouTube, we were posting around 3 videos a week just to try to throw as many darts at the board as possible and see what sticks, figure out what type of content people resonated with. And then after about a year or so of doing that, we had a pretty good idea for what videos worked, what, style of videos people liked, whether it was tutorials or reviews, things of that nature. We started to have more time spent editing videos under our belt. We started to make a little bit of money from YouTube, so now we could start to invest in some better equipment and things of that nature. And then for the next couple years here on YouTube, we tried to continue to up our quality, try to post around 1 video a week once we started to figure out what was working. And I think after a period of time of doing that, started to feel a little stuck again, started to plateau, as everybody does in any type of space. And so I started to ask myself, well, what can I do to continue to grow here on YouTube? What are the YouTube gurus saying? And you would hear from people like Mr. Beast or others that it's all about, the idea, and there's no point of even starting a video unless you already have the perfect title and thumbnail and perfect video idea that millions of people are gonna watch. You started to hear from more people that you need to script your video so that there's no breathing room or no room for people to click off, and all of these retention hacks. So sometimes I would be thinking to myself of different video ideas, and it could be something as basic as how to use an airbrush for the first time or a Procreate tutorial for beginners. And I would really convince myself that I can't even begin working on this video until everything has been perfectly researched. I've thought about every single question that people might ask on this topic, and I have found a way to just incorporate it all into just this one perfect video that no other video needs to be made on this topic by me anytime in the future. And it's just such a weird way of thinking, because I myself never want to stop learning. I always want to find new ways to talk about these topics. And with that way of thinking, I would just convince myself that if I've talked about a topic recently and I bring it up again shortly thereafter, people might think, oh boy, he's completely run out of ideas. He's talking about the same stuff over and over. And I know that that's just not the case, but just that fear of striving for that perfection, which is unachievable anyway, is something that just really held me back. And that's something that I definitely want to try to leave behind in 2024. I would always get these comments my first couple years on YouTube that I thought were a negative, but now looking back, I think that they were a positive for me. So a lot of people would say, can you just get to the point, or can you skip the talking, or they would leave timestamps in the video of when the video started, whether it was a tutorial or something like that. And I don't want people to just come to the videos for it's a tutorial on how to paint fabric. You know what I mean? I want to be a storyteller. I want to set people up and convey stories in a cool way, and not just be those types of YouTube videos when YouTube started and it would be how to fix a toilet or things of that nature. I've never wanted to produce those videos. I've always wanted to tell stories. I'm so fascinated by that. And so looking back, I would think to myself with those comments of you need to get started sooner, that there's no room for you to storytell in the beginning. You just need to dive into the information, and you need to have these insane, crazy, fast-paced intros where people have no room to click off, and you just, you suck them into this world and force them to watch this whole video. Sometimes I look back at the videos that I've made over the last couple years that I think are very well done, they're well produced, they're well edited, I think the scripts are cool. I think they're just not me. I almost think in a weird way, they're like this computer AI version of Dylan, this algorithm-based, optimized, trying to create this perfect video, and it just no longer was this relatable guy. That's what I always want to be, just a relatable guy that people can watch. And one of my favorite comments that I would get a lot in the early years of YouTube is people would say, hey, I just discovered you, and then I binged watched so many of your videos. It felt like I was hanging out with a friend, or it was something that I could just throw on in the background, and it was easy to watch, it was easy to follow along. And I think some of this more produced, highly stimulating content that's made by guys like Mr. Beast, it's just not as easy to want to have on in the background and binge, because it's just trying to force you to never divert your attention and things of that nature. So I really just want to get back to the basics and just make videos that I want to make again. Just talk about things that I want to talk about. Just try to have a stronger sense of community here on YouTube. I mean, I think that's something that we really did great for our first few years. We would have contests and things like that that so many artists would participate in. I want to bring back contests in 2025. I think we've done 4 or 5 of them, so I would love to do 1 or 2 of those this year and have giveaways and prizes and things of that nature, and just be this really cool space that people can come and learn. I want to do more courses next year, of course, more of our in-person DCF experiences. Our DCF experience recap for the 6th DCF experience is coming up soon. That video, it's a really good one, but I'm really looking forward to doing a couple more of those this year. And like I said, just getting back to that sense of community here on YouTube. Something else that I want to do is try to create more guides and resources for artists who are just starting out. So for example, a few years ago, we created this really cool custom sneaker photography guide for artists. It started out as just this online PDF that people could download for free. And then when Angela saw it, they asked me if they could have this guide physically printed and send it along with a bunch of their orders. So it's been really cool to see that continue to grow. I mean, it's gotten tens of thousands of downloads from our website. And I just want to create these cool resources that I wish I had when I started out, and share the information that I wish I had. I mean, I always think back to the story of when I was in college and I was just into buying and selling shoes at the time. This is before I was even into painting shoes. One day, one of my college buddies came up to me and said, "Dylan, I see you posting these expensive shoes all the time that you're trying to sell, yet you're taking these absolutely terrible photos of the shoes on your bed with your sheets in the background and things like that. Why don't you actually set up some lights, have a nice clean background and things of that nature if you're trying to sell something at a premium price point?" And this is just one of those stories that's forever burned into my head. It always reminds me of the importance of trying to portray your product in a premium way. And that's why I created that guide, because I know that when I started out, I didn't know any better. I thought you could just quickly snap a photo. What's the difference if I take a nice photo of them with a cool background or just a photo of the shoes on my bed? Why does it matter how much time I spend on the photos as long as people can see it? But when you want to try to sell things at a premium price point, you need to have premium photography as well. So this is just information that I know is valuable to people like myself who are just starting out. All of this to say, I'm so excited for the future of sneaker customizing, and it's just a great reminder to stop overthinking things and just post your art online, because you never know when you're one project away from your big break. And just don't get bogged down in the details. I mean, nowadays there's so many things out there that you can ultimately spread yourself so thin with wanting to post to Facebook, growing a following on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. There's so much stuff that if you continue to try to do everything, you'll end up accomplishing nothing. So it's just really important to figure out what you can do consistently. I mean, consistency is what's going to win at the end of the day. You have to continue having fun doing this craft. You have to fall in love with the journey. And in 2025, I want everybody to continue to get out there and just create.